Hello everybody, I'm Dieter and I'm going to show you how to make the ultimate king cake. Stay tuned.
So we're going to have 6 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 eggs, half a cup of lukewarm water, 1 cup of whole milk, 2 packets of active dry yeast, half a tablespoon of salt, a stick of butter, an 8-ounce square packet, box, a cube, a rectangle of cream cheese, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, 1/3 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. One comment that I do want to make is that you need to get quality cinnamon, okay? So I can't stand when people get the $2 cinnamon shaker from Walmart. Just spend a couple extra dollars and get quality ingredients, you know, and that applies to life. What you put into life is what you get out of life. Hey man, Lord, that'll preach right there. Woo! One cup of powdered sugar. One of the first things you want to do is have your pot, throw in a stick of butter, and let that melt, and then you'll add your cream cheese in just a second. You're going to add your active dry yeast to your lukewarm bowl of water. It's actually half a cup. I think it's, yeah, half a cup of lukewarm room temperature water. And then you're just going to take some of your sugar and just stir that in, get that activated. Let this active dry yeast sit for about 10 minutes. Alright, so now once you've melted your butter on low heat, you want to go ahead and add in that cream cheese. Now obviously you got to stir up this cream cheese and make sure it gets stirred up in that butter. Don't just throw a block of cheese into a pot. I mean, come on. Now once you see that the cream cheese starting to melt a little bit, you can go ahead and add our salt and the rest of our sugar. There we go. And we're going to try to get this to a smooth consistency. So once you've got it to a smooth consistency like this, you want to go ahead and add in your milk. And in just a minute, we're going to need to turn the heat off. Once we get this combined, we'll turn the heat off because we will need it to cool down when we mix the dough. So I'm going to add our mixture that we just finished on the oven into the mixing bowl. While we're waiting for our mixture to cool off, I'm going to make our sprinkles. Get a little bit of food gel coloring, and you don't want to add too much. You just want to put a little bit because you don't want it to dissolve and clump up too bad. What you find a lot of the time is the store-bought sprinkles that come in the little shakers, the little bottles. They tend to be a little too crunchy. And after a little bit of mixing, boom, purple sprinkles. Our mixture is ready to go. As you can see, I'm going to add in the yeast. It's nice and puffy. Alright, add in the yeast. Add in our 2 eggs. So we're going to mix that up a little bit. And we're going to slowly add our flour. Add the flour little by little. Alright, there we go. So we're going to try to get this bad boy off of here. I'm going to take it out of here, throw it on the countertop here, and get this thing kneaded and ready to go. And then your flour, make sure you flour your countertop. Alright. When the moon hits your eye like a big piece of pie, that's somebody. Just want to give it like you're giving an old lady a massage. There you go, Miss Mabel. There you go. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, no problem. Look, Miss Mabel, I'm going to give you that deep tissue little massage right there. So you want to keep folding it in. Fold it in. Make it look like a Chipotle burrito. No, I'm just kidding. You want to give it a little massage. You want to do like this. So one thing to remember about your dough, the more you knead it, the stretchier it's going to get. So you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to be like, you know, you want to just, hey, how you doing, baby? So our dough's ready. So now we've kneaded our dough. We got to let it rest for 2 hours. Let it rise, should I say. Make sure that let it rise. Put it in a bowl. Put a little olive oil in there, or you can do vegetable oil, whatever. and cover it with a damp towel. Let it rise for 2 hours, and then you're ready to go. Don't forget to vacuum the flour! While I'm waiting for the dough to rise, I'm gonna go ahead and get our filling ready. I'm gonna mix that together, and I'm gonna go ahead and make our icing as well. So when it comes to icing, you can do the typical kind of almost runny icing like you would put on a cinnamon roll or a donut, something like that. That type of icing is great, nothing wrong with it. We're gonna go with a little bit thicker, not quite like cake icing, but somewhere in between. I tend to enjoy that style, that consistency, that thickness of icing. So I'm actually gonna get the butter. I'm not gonna melt the butter. I'm gonna put it in our mixing bowl and put our confectionery sugar, powdered sugar, put it all in there, get it mixed up and let it almost whip and let it get whipped. And I may end up using a little more butter and a little more powdered sugar so that I can get the consistency that I want, and hopefully it turns out great. So let's put this bad boy in the mixer and see if we can make some awesome icing. So we put in our butter and our powdered sugar, so we need to put a little bit of milk. A little bit of milk and a little more. There we go. All right, so the fact that I put a whole stick of butter probably was a little too much. The recipe actually called for half a stick of butter. So now I'm probably gonna have to put 2 cups of powdered sugar rather than just half a cup, or I think it was literally 1 cup of powdered sugar. So this probably ended up being 2 or 3 cups with a full stick of butter. So keep that in mind when making the icing this thickness and this consistency. So at this point, I'm kind of eyeballing it, so I don't want it to be yellow. That means that the butter, it's still too much butter for the mixture that we have going on. So add it to where it's not so yellow and it's more of a white color. That's kind of what you want to get at when you're mixing it. Add just a smidge, a smudging, a little ching of vanilla. Not a lot. Almost got it to the right consistency. That's good. I'm gonna put just a tiny bit of milk, just a tiny bit. So we've got our icing ready. We got our sprinkles ready. And now we just wait for the dough to rise so that we can shape it, form it, put in the filling, and then put it in the oven. That's basically it. Just a couple more steps, and we'll get this king cake ready to go. All right, guys, the dough is done. It's risen, and now I'm gonna roll it out, put the melted butter on with the cinnamon and sugar and brown sugar mix, put that filling on, and once I roll it out, it's gonna be ready to go. I'm gonna basically make a pinwheel out of it, like you'll see. All right, so I've melted my butter just slightly. You don't want to melt it all the way. You don't want it runny for the stuffing aspect of the king cake. So you just want it kind of, just melted real soft. And then you put the butter on there. Ooh, yes. Now repeat what you just said.
Everything you cook, crap.
Everything I cook, crap.
Everything that you cook is like the best thing I've ever eaten. And on top of that, I don't have to cook or clean it. So I'm cool. I'm cool.
How about that? That's the power of Chef Duda, baby. So now we're going to roll this bad boy. All you want to do, it's very simple, not difficult, not hard. Make sure you fold all the edges in. Let it rise another 30 minutes just like this, and you cover it with a damp towel. Just like that. We've let this dough rise for an extra 30 minutes. It's nice and fluffy. One thing that I like to do, give it a little extra crispy, a little extra flavor, is a little melted butter. Now before we didn't melt the butter completely, now we have. So get a little paintbrush and just brush it on a little bit. Get a little brush on there. A little extra flavor, just like that. Now we pop it in the oven at 350 for 30 to 35 minutes, depending on your oven. Alright, everybody, here she is right here. I'm gonna put that icing on. It got disconnected. It ain't perfect. I'll say that. Don't even know it cooked all the way through, but we're gonna check it out. We're gonna put the icing on, put the sprinkles, and we're gonna be ready to go. Here it is. She ain't perfect and she ain't pretty, but she gonna be good. Chef Duder might have just did it. I'm gonna get Natalie to taste it. Let's have a bite. Let's see. The ultimate king cake. Test it out. Tell me what you think. Looks good.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
I'm gonna get that extra piece of icing.
How's that? Is that pretty good?
That's really good.
Is that the ultimate king cake?
I do believe it is.
I'm not even setting you up. Like, I'm honestly asking.
Really, it's really good. It honestly reminds me of in Dollywood. They have some cinnamon bread. No, for real, it's really good.
It really is? Mm-hmm. Chef Duder strikes again. What can I say? The ultimate king cake. I'll see you guys next time. Hey, try it out. Let me know how it turns out. Comment below what you think and give me some new recipe ideas. It really is good.
It's really good.
That's awesome.
You're not going to comment on my hair?
No, it's perfectly normal.